from Florida Matt Gaetz.
Mr. Parnas, how much time did you spend in prison?
Oh, here we go.
4 months. But
4 months.
But you were indicted for crimes that could have resulted in you spending 50 years in prison, right?
Right, they were false crimes.
Good.
The judge
Yeah,
saw through it.
Well, you went to trial and you were convicted, right?
I went to trial, correct.
And the crime was that you were trying to acquire marijuana licenses, and you took money from a Russian oligarch, and you tried to use that money to go give political donations and do what you had to do to acquire marijuana licenses. Is that about right?
That's what the crime was. That's what the indictment was. Yeah.
Right. So it sounds like everyone here today, the only one working for a Russian oligarch was you.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be very fun then.
Right? I mean,
Yeah, it was.
I just heard you.
It's public information.
Yeah, no, I just heard you
Congressman
wax
Gaetz.
poetic.
I got
with
paid
Mr. Frost
$200,000.
about-
You know how much I got paid.
You were really worried about our democracy, and you were here to warn us, but you were working for a Russian oligarch,
On
wanting
behalf
to
of
get
President
marijuana
Trump.
licenses, but then you didn't even do it. The fraud you committed against the Russian oligarch was that instead you spent the money on yourself. So, like, was that what you were doing to fight against
that was not the
Russia's
fraud.
aggression?
That's a lie,
Just taking
Congressman
their
Gaetz.
money? Well, that's what you were convicted of.
No,
But instead of spending 50 years in prison, you got 4 months. As this hearing continues, I look forward to hearing what Mr. Galanis thinks about how he was treated by the DOJ for telling the truth, as opposed to how you're treated for lying.
The DOJ didn't listen to the truth, because if they would listen to
The
the
question,
truth, you
the
guys
question
would have been
Mr.
all in
Gaetz
jail.
had is
They didn't
for
want to hear the
Mr.
truth. You can't handle the
Galan-
truth, Matt Gaetz.
Look, well, the truth for you is taking money from Russians to buy marijuana businesses and then going to jail and then coming here to lie about Trump.
You should know better than anybody what
Gentlemen's
what
time
the
has
DOJ is
expired.
about.
Chair
You
now.
should know better than anybody.
Gentlemen's time's expired. Chair now.
State with all the ambassadors in the region, and then the work that that we've done to work with our partners.
Gentlemen's time's expired. Chair, and I recognize the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Gaetz.
So what's the difference
you.
between Haiti and a failed state? It's telling, right? We can't really identify them because the gangs are in charge, the government has been thrown out, and as a Florida man, I'm deeply concerned about this wave of people that we're about to have, that we are having, coming from Haiti, and it will accelerate because I've gone to Opelika and I've spent time with the folks that are engaged in Operation Vigilant Sentry, and they say the #1 push factor that drives these Haitians into Broward County, Palm Beach County, where they don't disperse throughout the country, they stay in Southeast Florida, that driving factor is the deterioration of conditions in Haiti. So what are we doing to prepare for that wave and to ensure that these people are not paroled into the United States as the administration has done with people on the southern border, but instead are repatriated back at the dock at Port-au-Prince?
Look at this. Somebody come look at this.
Congressman, we're doing a number of things to ensure that we're keeping track of the situation and we're prepared. At the moment, we have not yet seen large numbers, what we would characterize as a maritime mass migration, but we are alert to that.
Mass migration, though.
We are alert to that possibility. I think you're right that the driving conditions in Haiti could very well press more people. So we've recently approved some additional assistance that we can provide to the Coast Guard. I think that has now fully been approved. We'll be providing notifications if we haven't already to provide additional shipboard assistance.
Because I've talked to the Coast Guard, and what they say would really support them would be more naval vessels, would be DOD support. And because I think you correctly said that there is an anticipated mass migration here, there are specific legal authorities that we can access that I would implore you to access. Specifically, George W. Bush signed Executive Order 13276. And in that executive order, there is the ability for any president to designate an anticipated mass migration and then get gray hull naval vessels into the Straits of Florida to deter that migration and then to repatriate those people before they get to Florida. So General Richardson, is it your best military advice, based on what we just heard from Ms. Zimmerman, that we activate the authorities anticipating a mass migration?
So I think that we need to be postured appropriately for that, exactly what you're talking about. And I have put in a request for increased capability to do exactly that. And we are ready if we need to deal with a mass migration. We did a full walkthrough of our contingency plan on Gitmo last summer. with all of the interagency and all of my components.
Yeah, okay.
When I talk to the Coast Guard folks, they seem to say that we don't have to go drop these folks off at Gitmo, where they become a burden on the U.S. taxpayer. We can interdict at sea and then repatriate directly at Port-au-Prince. When you say you're preparing for that, does that specifically mean DOD assets?
So for what happens on a daily basis that the Coast Guard is doing and the repatriation under Homeland Security authorities back to Cap Haitian happens on a daily basis.
Yeah, no, I got that. But when I go down to Opelika and get eyeball to eyeball with these folks, they say, Congressman, we really could use the DOD assistance, not more money for the Coast Guard, not more meetings, conference calls, and committees, but gray hull vessels in the Straits of Florida doing the interdictions, doing the repatriations. So when you say you're anticipating that, I think Ms. Zimmerman laid it out correctly. So given the fact that an anticipated maritime mass migration is specifically contemplated pursuant to 46 USC 70051, can I leave this discussion believing that it will be your best military advice to the administration to utilize DOD assets for this purpose, General Richardson?
If I'm requested to do that, I will definitely do that.
No, I want you to make the request, not be requested. That's what I'm trying to ascertain.
Okay, yes, Congressman.
Yes, you will make that request for DOD
So
assets.
I
in the
will
Straits of
talk with
Florida.
District 7 and our Coast Guard on the Atlantic side, Atlantic area, and see if they need additional DOD gray hulls. They have not requested that specifically from Southcom, and so, but if there's a need for that, I would absolutely request it.
Thank you for that, because I really think getting ahead of this will ensure that the humanitarian conditions will be far better, that we could perhaps deter some of this, because, I mean, it's tragic conditions. When you talk to these folks and they say that these Haitians are pouring gasoline on little babies and doing everything they can to deter interdictions, it sharpens the minds of my fellow Floridians to want to make sure you guys are doing everything possible, and I greatly appreciate the exchange today. Yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair, and I recognize the gentleman from Connecticut, Mr. Courtney.
Thank you, Chairman Rogers, and thank you to all the witnesses for your testimony today. General Guillo, again, it was a pleasure to meet you, and congratulations again on your new assignment. In your testimony, you spoke about the
When the crowd got in and the sky turned gray, he a sunshine in the brain, lighting the way with a earphone of warm and a helping hand. He brought light to the darknet land. Oh, a sunshine in the brain, wasting away every hand open in his connect a rainbow from chasing away a light storm. Towards a drop of light shine, hidden blue brain color to light. No unbelievable, no signature in this world. Kinetic sender. When the crowd got in and the sky turned gray, he a sunshine in the brain, lighting the way with a earphone of warm and a helping hand. He bright light to the darknet land over a sunshine in the rain, wasting away every hand of brand in his connect a rainbow from chasing away a light storm. Toss a drop bro of black sky, hidden bro bright color to light. No unbelievable, no signature in this world. Kinetic sender. All black sky, hidden bro bright color to light. No unbelievable, no signature in this world. Kinetic sender.